I'd like to call the July 11th, 2024 Utilities Advisory Commission meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All our commissioners are here tonight, so we have a quorum. At this time, I would like to entertain any public comments. Since there is no one here from the public, we'll move on to the consent agenda. All matters listed within the consent agenda have been distributed to each member for study. These items are considered to be routine and will be enacted upon by one motion with no separate discussion. If separate discussion is desired on an item, that may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda. Are there any items any members of the commission would like removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll motion. I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Augustine, seconded by Commissioner Plum. To approve the consent agenda, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. There is no old business at this time, so we'll move on to new business. Consider a recommendation to accept the proposal from KOC Electric to purchase transformers for the Substation 1 Transformer 2 Upgrade CIP Project EL4004 and for the new Substation 4 CIP Project EL4005.
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. So staff is currently working on two projects. One is the Substation 1 Transformer Upgrade and new Substation 4. Early this year, we were told by our consultants that there was a 32 to 36 month lead time on electrical equipment. So that's the reason we began the process early in 2024. Thank you. So we issue three invitations for bids, one for Substation 1, Substation 1 that included two alternatives, a 30 MVA transformer or a 45. For Substation 4, it'll be a 30 MVA. So we received three bids. The technical specifications were reviewed by Olson. The companies that bid were WEG, Howard Inc., Industrial, and KOC, which is a Korean company, electric. The bids were reviewed by Olson, and they recommend KOC for the following reasons. Their cost is lower than the next company by $400,000 to $500,000. The lead time is the shortest, 56 weeks, and they're the only vendor that provided a sealed tank versus a conservator transformer in a FR3 oil. So most transformers, they use a mineral oil, which is very flammable. One of the insurance recommendations is to go to an FR3 oil, which is basically a vegetable oil. So the risk is lesser because of the type of oil. So the KOC was the only one that gave us that option. This week I met with a consultant, and one of their engineers, he used to work for Evergy. And Evergy is also using KOC for their substations. because they have the quickest lead time and also because of the price. So for transformer, for sub 4, like I mentioned, we need to get a 30 MVA. For substation 1, a decision has not been made if we need a 30 or 45. So I just wanted for the commission to approve a recommendation to City Council to accept the proposal from KOC versus the other two companies. And that will give us time to review the contracts, the legal part, and hopefully within the next meeting, we will have an actual transformer size for sub 1.
Are there any questions?
Does it concern you that their price is so much lower than everybody else's?
My understanding, they're new to the USA market, so they're trying to promote their transformer. Technically speaking, there's no different from the other two companies. One of the questions I raised was what happens if there's a problem with the transformer itself. So they have made alliances with 3 repair shops, one in Missouri, I think the other one is in Colorado, and the other one in Texas. So if we have a problem, one of those 3 companies will come and take care of the problem. And like I said, Evergy is planning to use them too, so that's a good sign.
If Evergy's using them at a little bit more comfort level there, I was gonna ask if we've ever used them before, but it sounds like no.
Yep.
Where, you said they're new to the US market, do you know where they were? What market?
Oh, they have transformers all over the world, but not in the US. Mainly in Asia, some in South America, Africa, and Europe.
Do you know how long they've been around?
I think at least over 20, 25 years.
Okay, so there's some history and whatnot there.
Correct.
So is that why their lead time is so much shorter? Because they're worldwide as opposed to the others?
I don't have an answer for that.
But it's new equipment.
It's new equipment. They have to build the transformer to our specifications.
Are there any other questions? I'd entertain a motion.
I'd like to motion to approve the recommendation to the City Council to accept the proposal from KOC Electric.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Plum, seconded by Commissioner Augustine. Are all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So we'll go on to discussion items. The first item is the APPA reliability report, second quarter.
I received a request from Commissioner Augustine yesterday, and he wanted to see a comparison between second quarter 2023 and second quarter 2024. So looking at the numbers for second quarter, and this perhaps doesn't make sense, but it does. Second quarter 2023, the CID was 0 minutes. Second quarter 2024 was 14 minutes. The CID for second quarter 2023, 47 minutes. Second quarter 2024, 28 minutes. The SI is basically unchanged, 99.99 versus 99.8. The MIFI, which is your momentary interruptions, was 2.308 for the second quarter of 2023 versus 0 for second quarter 2024. The SIFI for second quarter 2023 was 0.0219 versus second quarter 2024, 0.517. Customers affected for second quarter 2023, 77. Second quarter 2024, 4920. the reason why we have a higher number for second quarter 2024 is that we have two interruptions. One at substation 3 that cut off about 2,300 or 2,500 customers. That was late May. And 2 weeks ago, Evergy was doing some repairs. And they opened the breaker that feeds substation 1, which basically killed the power to Walmart, Conestoga, and all the east part of the city. So that's the reason why we have a high number. Basically, two events that brought that number high. Now, the MAFI on second quarter 2023 is high, which means that we had more momentary interruptions than sustained. And that's why the SID is pretty low, because you only have 77 customers affected. Versus second quarter 2024, you have 14 minutes the SID, because you have more customers. Any questions?
This is great. Thank you for putting it together like this. I think that's valuable. And I was part of the Evergy outage there. They did it right before, like 10 minutes before I had a meeting. So thank you, Evergy.
So do they notify you when they are
So-
doing this work?
They had to work on they call it a CCVT, which is a coupling capacitor voltage transformer. It's a transformer that is used for providing signal for relay protection. So they knew the problem, and they said, we're gonna isolate the device. And we said, that's fine. They never told us we're gonna be opening the breaker that feeds substation 1. So they did it, so we had to react and transfer load from sub 1 to sub 2. So we were feeding the load 50 minutes later from sub 2. So the power was restored. We had a meeting today with Evergy to go to why this happened. So we're gonna have a second meeting to coordinate and develop some kind of procedure and with diagrams, so when they say, I'm gonna isolate this device, everybody knows what they're isolating. And also how are you gonna clear that device so nothing else is affected. So hopefully that'll be within the next week, but we had
I'm
a work.
glad you put together precautions so it won't happen again.
Yeah. So hopefully that'll be squared away. And the other outage I mentioned was a human error on my side. We were troubleshooting wiring for a new installation on sub 2, and I inadvertently opened the wrong switch. That was sub 3. That was restored probably within 20 minutes. One thing that we find out, things happen for a reason, that switch did not provide any kind of alert. Nobody knew that sub 3 was disconnected until my boss, the city administrator, calls me, hey, we lost sub 3. He said, we're working on it, but there was no alarm. So that's another thing we identify. So we want to associate an alarm that if somebody opens the switch, then they know that there's substation 3 will be out of service.
Is there an alarm installed that wasn't working, or that something?
It was never programmed
It was never programmed.
in
But
the
now-
SCADA.
but now it is.
Not yet, but we have identified the problem.
Okay.
It took me a couple of weeks identifying wirings and troubleshooting why this happened. So it's just that we don't have the alarm connected to that operation.
So how long was the second outage?
Probably 15, 20 minutes, something
Yeah,
like that.
That's what you said, about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gave me a chance to, a little break, walk away. Kids didn't know what to do without Wi-Fi. They were. But no, this is great. I like this view. I just asked if, next time we have a quarterly report to include this view as well during that.
Thank you for asking for that. It's very helpful.
Gives you a good reference to what happened last year and this year.
Yeah, I mean, on the next one, we have the individual months and we've got, years, but I think knowing the seasonality of, the quarters that we have, right,
Mhm.
it's kind of interesting to compare what this year was to last year,
Absolutely.
so.
Because the draws for different things, ACs, heaters,
Yeah.
different seasons have different draws and capacity.
Are there any other questions?
I'm ready for the next one.
All right, sewer repair report, second quarter.
Rest of the reliability.
So this
Oh, I'm
is,
sorry, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I told him not to get rid of the other one.
Right,
I just
exactly.
wanted
I'm
additional.
sorry. You're
No,
right.
good.
so basically it's a monthly reliability index. For June, the SIDE was 5 minutes, KID 27, the SI 99.98, MAFI was 0, the SIFI 0.19, customers affected 1805, interruptions per mile 11.97. Year to date is we have SIDE of 18 minutes, KID 27, SIDE remains at 99.99, the MIFI 0.0125, SIFI 0.682, customers affected for the first 6 months, 6,486, and 43.01 interruptions per mile. Any questions?
So the customers affected year to date has already exceeded the total of 2023? Did I read
The
that right?
customers, we don't have any targets for 2023, yes. Because of these two events that happened, one in May and one in June.
And you've initiated precautions so that it won't occur? again.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean, those were, yeah, it affected people for a significant amount of time, but it was, kind of outliers, right? They're not
Yeah, those were just one
normal,
big events.
the thing broke and we worked to fix it,
Exactly.
so. Gons, if you remind me, there was discussion at a past meeting about one of the calculations, we felt like it was incorrect and you were gonna talk to someone?
There was a MIFI, the original target that was presented last month. The original target used to be like 0.005.
Yep.
And I talked with NextGrid, which provides the software for these calculations, and they made some changes, so it will be closer to the APPA standard than the standard they were using.
Okay, and did they get like that into production in the software yet, or? It's
Correct,
still
they
coming?
have. That's why the numbers for June look pretty low.
Okay.
Okay. Now, we're ready to move on.
Now.
Now, we also have 2023, if you have any
Oh,
questions,
Oh,
which is basically summarized on the first table I presented for the second quarter. Okay, on 2023, you see the MIFI and the SIFI,
yeah.
0.001, it's just impossible.
Mm.
And the SIFI was 0.2, which is too low.
Gotcha. All right, flip back to 24 then, please. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
And I use the average of the annual, so every year they send us an annual report. So I use the average of all the participants, and those are the numbers I came up with, which is
Gotcha.
the middle,
Okay.
0.5 and 0.7.
Seems good to me.
Any other questions with the reliability indexes?
Nope, looks much better.
Second item, the sewer second quarter repair report. We had 10 sanitary sewer line repairs affecting 8 customers, 1 due to grease, 5 due to resident issues, 4 due to others. The average workday response time was 14 minutes. The average workday repair time, 1 hour and 2 minutes. On the average after-hour response time was 18 minutes, and the average after-hours repair time was 15 hours and 42 minutes. The overall average response time 60 minutes, and repair time 8 hours and 22 minutes. For the new commissioners, anything on gray, those are the after-hours numbers. And we have a pie chart indicating the different modes of failure. Any questions? I'm curious on the others 4.
I don't see a large repair time on there. You said the average was 8 hours?
The average repair time, oh yeah, that's had to be on the. The average repair time was 8 hours and 22 minutes.
Oh, the last one is 7. Repair time is what? Is that 72?
72 hours.
72 hours.
You're talking about right here?
Yeah.
On that one? Yeah,
Because
so
the
that,
average is 8 hours, but most of them were 1 hour or less.
It's that final work order that came in, it looks like it was 72 hours long.
Mhm. Is that correct?
Yep. So the 72 hours brings the average to 1542 for the after hours.
But there was no interruption during that time.
Check sewer lines, 86, had good flow. Yeah, they reported a problem, we were just checking it and we didn't identify any problems. Sorry. Any questions?
No, I don't think so.
On the water side, the quarter repair report, we have 12 water service repairs affecting 11 customers. 1 due to line failure, 1 to damage by others, 5 due to residents' issues, 5 due to other issues. The average workday response time was 17 minutes. The average workday repair time, 2 hours and 4 minutes. The average after hours response time, 22 minutes. The average after hours repair time, 3 hours and 1 minute. The overall average response time was 19 minutes, and the overall average repair time was 2 hours and 28 minutes. And that's a pie chart summarizing the failure modes.
And you still do not expect any restrictions on water this summer?
No, the plant with the upgrade can produce up to 7 million gallons per day. Our peak this week was under 4 million, so we have a long way to go. Unless there's a problem with the transmission line, then that'll be a different story.
Well, we don't want to talk about that.
But the plant is able to produce more than 4 years ago.
Project updates.
So this is they had a pole that was leaning center in Madison, and that was repaired, replaced circuit pole 35. So you can see the lineman doing the repair work. Circuit 31 is almost fully rebuilt. We perhaps have another couple of days, it will be finished. That's a line that goes from Moonlight all the way to Warren Road, all the way to the Catholic Church. So it's about 2 miles, I believe, of line that was replaced.
On the other side of the tracks, right?
Correct. That's all I have for this meeting.
Does anyone have any other business they would like to discuss?
Any information on the new building that the design team's working on?
Rebuilding.
The new building out on Santa Fe that we're putting in for,
So the update is that we finalized the actual drawing or the actual layout. And we got the a contract almost finished. So it should come to us next month, I hope, for a recommendation to City Council.
cool. And then I know we've talked about it before, and so I apologize, but I don't remember. We talked about whether or not there are industry standards similar to the reliability standards we've gone to for electric, but for water and wastewater.
Yeah, that's the A Waterworks Association, where Jeff Lemire, he's the utilities manager, he's working on that
Working on that.
to come
Okay.
up with a recommendation.
Thank you.
Anything on the Johnson County water line tie? How's that going?
We haven't started, we have the design, but we have not gone for bids for the actual construction.
Okay.
I per se another month or two.
Okay, so about a month or two.
Any other business? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion to adjourn.
I second it.
Motion made by Commissioner Plan, seconded by Commissioner Waller. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Quick one tonight.
I'm just realizing